Today I'm going to give you 10 tips to get more out of your practice and maybe get you back on the straight and narrow. Stick around. Hello everyone, it's James from Practice Like a Pro, providing you with simple, clear guitar tips to help you on your guitar playing journey. So today I want to give you some tips to help you with your practice. The various forums and groups on Facebook that I'm a part of, it's a really common theme of how do I get more out of my practice? I don't have a lot of time. How can I get the most bang for my buck with very little time to practice? Or I'm stuck in a rut and I need to try something new. So hopefully some of these tips will help. Let's get to it. My first big piece of advice for any player that wants to squeeze more out of the time or sort of get back on the horse is little and often. Now, it's so much better if you can play 15 minutes every day, 5 times a week, 4 times a week, than it is for you to sit and do an hour on a Saturday when you get a little bit of peace. Now, a lot of people, especially in the beginning stages of playing guitar, and this goes on into more advanced, advanced players can get something out of this as well. It's the repetition. It's dropping something and coming back to it, dropping it and coming back to it. So you think in the early stages of learning to play, let's say you've got a C chord, a G chord, D chord. Those are the 3 chords that you're working on. Do you think you'd be better slogging through those chords for an hour and getting really bored and really fed up? Because remember, we do this for pleasure, don't we? We don't do it because we have to, we do it because we want to. I'd much rather you have a really structured 5 minutes, 10 minutes out of your routine that's just devoted to those, and you revisit it 3 or 4 times a week. Breaking it up into smaller chunks like that will also help you stick to it as well. My second tip, leave the iPhone alone. Okay? If you have your phone with you, put it on aeroplane mode or do not disturb or whatever, because I don't know about you, but my phone does nothing but ping various notifications from Instagram. I mean, you can find us on Instagram here if you want to be distracted. You might as well be distracted on my Instagram page. You spend so much time staring at your phone, and also every time it pings, you want to pick it up. Well, let's say you're getting into the sort of meat and potatoes of practicing a couple of chords or a scale. You want to remove the distraction. So what I tend to do is I'll put it on Do Not Disturb and I'll put it face down on my desk. Now, 9 times out of 10 that works unless something really urgent comes up for the music school. But if you're practicing for 10 to 15 minutes every day, you can do without Instagram telling you what everybody else is doing. And you're probably looking at guitar players that make you feel rubbish about your own playing, so everybody wins. My third tip is 1-minute changes. You might have seen there's a great YouTube guitar teacher called Justin Guitar. He's very good. If you've come across me, you probably know who he is, Australian fella. He has this thing called 1-minute changes that I do with my students as well. And the idea is you set a minute timer on your phone and you say, right, all I'm going to do for this is just play C to G. And I'm just going to spend 60 seconds getting really good at playing C to G. So you just do 1 strum of each. If you're in the beginning stages of learning to play and you're struggling to get smooth changes between the chords, you should be doing this every time that you pick your guitar up. Now, you don't have to do it for the solid 15 minutes, but work it in. Let's say you pick 3 changes that you want to work on every day or every other day. It's only 3 minutes out of your 15 minutes of your practice routine. And if you do 1-minute changes for 5 minutes, in your practice routine for 6 weeks, I can guarantee you'll see progress in your chord changes. My fourth tip, have a guitar on a stand ready to go. I mean, we all spend probably far too much time looking at guitars that we can't afford. I know I do. Display them in your house. They are works of art. I mean, look at that. That is a really good looking guitar. If it's on a stand in your house, you're more inclined to pick it up. And now that could be in your living room, it could be hung up on the wall, anywhere. It's not just nice to look at and it makes you want to pick it up, but it's that visual reminder as you walk past it every day. Oh, I haven't played guitar today. I need to squeeze that in somewhere. The next one is work your practice into your day-to-day life. So we're all busy. We've all got, some of you might have kids or, work commitments and busy jobs and that sort of things. Or maybe you're at college and university. We've all got pressures in his life that require his attention for most of the day. Now, I would find 15 to 20 minutes that recurs every day or every other day. So that could be while you're waiting for tea to cook. That could be while your significant other's watching something on television that's on, 3 nights a week that you don't like. If Strictly Come Dancing or any rubbish like that, or American Idol's on, you go, right, okay, you can watch that and I'm going to go play guitar. That's, if you fit it into your day-to-day life and you've got a specific time that you do it at, it works so much better because you can't go, I haven't got time to do it today. You have that routine. It's like getting up and brushing your teeth. I hope you all do that. Yeah, you don't even think about it. If you can get it into your day-to-day life like that, you're going to see so much progress. My next tip is don't go in too hard. So let's say that you're brand new to the guitar and you're like, there's that old misconception that you need to practice for 2 hours every day and you've got to do it every day and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, don't get me wrong, Steve Vai has the 10-hour a day practice routine that he did for a long, long time. And if you can do that, awesome. You're going to get so good at guitar. But for us people in the normal world with other commitments, some people just can't give an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to practice. So you've got to work a little bit smarter. But also, don't assume, I can't find an hour, so I can't do it. But also, let's say you do have an hour. Why don't you do 30 minutes of really intense practice? And then maybe spend a little bit more time getting inspired about playing guitar. Finding other guitar players online. YouTube's awesome for this. You've found me. You've probably watched loads of other guitar players. For inspiration to keep you going. I think that's a massive thing, is if you get so stuck in your own bubble and don't take in other things to keep you into it, you will eventually lose interest. This kind of ties into the second tip of leave your phone alone. I don't know about you guys, but I use a laptop or an iPad or sometimes my phone to practice for metronomes or for music to play along to and things. They're awesome tools for practice, and it's never been easier to get a really structured practice in. But don't spend half of your practice session looking at other guitar players. I know I've said that in the previous thing, but what I mean is, rather than looking at Karen on Facebook and she's whinging about something in the local community group, use it as a practice tool. Once you finish practice, you can go and mess around with your phone. Another great tip that I'll just throw this in, which I didn't include on the list, is use your phone to record yourself playing. Keep a little diary. It doesn't have to be every time you practice, because I don't know about you, but storage is always an issue on phones for me. But every couple of months, maybe just get a clip of you playing something, and you'll be able to see your progression, which I think is a really powerful thing. This ties into the previous tip of keeping a diary on your phone, is actually keep a handwritten diary. Now, I've done this for years. I must have half a dozen sort of in storage of various practice routines and what I've been doing. Now, it's not really strict and regimented, and everybody's different. But what I'll do is I'll put the date, how long I practiced for, and what I did. And also, at the bottom of it, I'll say what I struggled with. And then when I revisit the practice, I go the next day or the day after, I look at the previous couple of sessions and say, right, what did I struggle with? What do I need to work on? And also with a fresh sort of set of eyes, and you're excited at the beginning of your practice, it's good to say, right, okay, those are my goals. Nearly there, folks. So my 9th tip is balance work and play. Now, I want you to, first of all, distinguish what's work and play. Now, something that you'll find really easy, say you're strumming along to Hotel California or, something fairly, a 4-chord kind of song, you've got somewhere with your chords and you're feeling fairly comfortable. Try not to get in the trap of, I'm practicing, which actually translates to, I'm playing things that I'm really good at. Don't get me wrong, I think you should balance work and play, and you should play for your enjoyment. But also, if you go into your practice space, whether that's your couch or an office or the conservatory or whatever, you go into work. Okay, you're working on your goals, and you're really trying to make progress. So what does that look like in your day-to-day practice then? Well, let's say you've got half an hour a day or 45 minutes a day that you can squeeze in, or every other day. Split it in half. Spend the first half working on things that are really challenging and that kind of annoy you a little bit. Then spend the rest of the time playing the songs that you enjoy. Enjoying how far you've come on your journey, as opposed to either all pleasure or all pain. Try and sort of get a mixture of the two. My 10th and final tip for you, and I think this is a really, really important one, not just for guitar, not just for getting better at guitar, but just in life in general, is have goals. Write them down. I've got a whiteboard, that you use the sort of squiggly pens on, that I write goals for anything I'm working on, whether it's in my business, in my playing, personal life. I've got these things, and I have short, medium, and long-term goals for most facets of my life that I want to improve on. Now, you could do this in the back of your practice journal. You could have a piece of paper on your practice space that's just handwritten, doesn't have to be anything flash, you don't have to go buy anything, that just says, I want to play Hotel California. I want to be able to play the solo for Smoke on the Water. I want to get good enough to justify I want a Gibson SG, but to get to that, I need to be able to play this, this, and this. If you aim at nothing, you hit it every time, which is cheesy and it's all self-help and stuff like that, but I think it's really powerful. You've got to know where you're going and plan ahead. You don't go to you don't start a journey, or most people don't anyway, in the real world. You start a journey and you know where you're going. You put it in the sat-nav or you look at the map. It doesn't matter how grandiose that you think some of these goals are, still strive for them. And it might take years, but that's okay. Guitar's a lifestyle. It's not just something that you dip into for sort of 6 months and then, I've done with guitar. The further you go down the rabbit hole, the more you realise the hole's deeper and you never actually get to the bottom of it, and that's the beauty of it. I could be here all day giving you little hints and tips and things like that, but you probably want to go practice now, and so you should go practice. If you do something in your practice time that you think could help the community, pop it in the comments. Let us know. I have probably got another tips to make, and another 10 tips to make another video. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know in the comments. If you like what we do here at Practice Like a Pro, please do consider subscribing. We do 3 lessons a week, and it's not just talking videos. We do lots of playing, rock, pop, acoustic, electric. We do all sorts of stuff. And if you're excited about playing and you want to sort of get to work, there's a couple of lessons here that you can try and get the ball rolling. Until I see you next time, thank you very much. Keep practicing like a pro. Cheers.